Does he let you bring it home and use
On behalf of the Midland community, it is my pleasure to welcome all of you to this very joyous occasion as we honor and welcome home the Michigan Army National Guard 1460th Transportation Company. To begin our ceremonies today, we have Colonel Stephen Barner singing our national anthem. Colonel Barner.
Thank you, Mayor. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you, and welcome home, 1460th.
Thank you, Colonel Barner. The words of our national anthem are especially meaningful here as we look upon the faces of the brave men and women of the 1460th. Today we honor not only the Midland area members of the 1460th, but also those members representing the communities of Jackson and Wyoming, Michigan. And there are others from our community who have served or are still serving in Iraq, as well as those who have sacrificed their lives in the line of duty. We also recognize and honor them. The intent of today's parade and celebration is to let your soldiers know that your community appreciates the sacrifices that you've made on our behalf. Mindful that you've been traveling all night, we intend to keep these ceremonies brief so that you can move on to the more important business of reuniting with your families and friends who have endured your absence for more than a year. We have a number of guests who wish to share our appreciation with you today. We will begin with our first speaker, Michigan's 98th District State Representative, John Molinar.
Thank you, Mayor Black. Our hearts swell with pride today as we look across and see those who have served so honorably and the families who have sacrificed and supported them throughout these past 15 months. And it means a lot to all of us in Midland to know that you were there defending, protecting the freedoms that we take for granted in our country, the freedom to assembly, the freedom to speak, have a political discussion, and we're very proud of you. And I just want to say welcome home. Thank you for your service, for answering the call of your Commander-in-Chief, being willing to lay down your lives to defend freedom in this country we love so well. And so, as things move forward in your lives, there will be some who don't fully understand the sacrifice that you've made. But I just want you to know that today, this group and our whole community is very grateful. And God bless all of you and your families. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Representative Molinar. Let me now invite to the podium 4th District Congressman Dave Kemp.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I want to wish you the warmest and most heartfelt welcome back home again. Welcome home, soldiers. You, the men and women of the 1460th, have offered your lives for an idea greater than any one of us as individuals. The right of all God's children to live in freedom. Through your courage, the flame of freedom has been lit. Through your bravery, its warmth and light continue to shine on America. And through your courage, its rays of hope and opportunity now reach a nation of people. We are here to mark and to commit to you and your children and your children's children that your gift will not be forgotten. We will always remember the sacrifice you and your families have made for all of us. It's a great privilege to be here today with you, and I want each of you to know this. Your character is measured not only by your efforts in the field, it is measured by the hope you brought to the oppressed, the freedom you brought to the terrorized, and the bravery and fortitude with which you completed your mission. You have been a success on every front, and you could not have served your community, your state, or your nation more proudly. You left us as friends and neighbors, husbands and wives, brothers and sisters, moms and dads. But you returned to us as heroes. Welcome home. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you.
And thank you, Congressman Kemp. For some, the military is a lifelong and rewarding career. Those statements are true of our next speaker. Brigadier General Robert V. Taylor is the Assistant Adjutant General for the Michigan Army National Guard. He has 37 years of military service and currently oversees the administration of armories and training areas of the Michigan Army National Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, Brigadier General Robert V. Taylor.
The 1460th Transportation Company of the Michigan Army National Guard from Midland, Michigan, welcome home. I had the privilege of seeing this unit off when they left this great community. I had the privilege of visiting this unit in Iraq last December, and a distinct honor for me today and privilege to be here to tell you your mission is complete. Well done. Welcome home. I would also like to say to the families of these great Americans, thank you for your patience and your sacrifices. It's not easy today to be a spouse of a soldier. And this community and this leadership understands that and thanks you again for all those efforts. To this great community, the community of Midland has always been a great supporter of the Michigan Army National Guard. This is not the first time this unit has deployed in harm's way. And I say to you, thank you for all of your support. This is what makes America so great, is having hometown units deploy and do our nation's work. We are the community. These soldiers live and work in this community. Thank you, Midland, for all of your support. And at this time, I'd like to call on the commander of the 1460th Transportation Company, a great leader, great commander, Captain John Collins. John, would you join me here? Before I call on Captain Collins for some remarks, I want to make a presentation. In our headquarters in Lansing, we have one of these plaques hanging on the wall depicting every one of the units of the men and women that are currently deployed fighting the war on terrorism. This particular one I'm presenting on behalf of all of you to Captain Collins and the 1460th Transportation Company. This one's a little special because there's a black ribbon that's proudly displayed above the yellow ribbon to depict that this particular unit has one less soldier standing in our ranks today than departed last January of 2003. Specialist Rick Goward. So John, I present this to you on behalf of all of the citizens. Hope you will display this proudly in the Armory. And again, thank you for your leadership and a great job as a commander of this great organization. I'll put it down here. I'll put it down here.
Yeah, better. Wow. I've got a written speech here, and I obviously have to definitely read it, but I just want to thank you for the outpouring of emotion and support that we've seen here. It's been a long trip, long road back, and I'm really glad to be here, and I know my soldiers are as well. When the unit deployed, each of you at one time or another standing before me talked or shared something with a friend, relative, acquaintance, or passerby, something that had happened to one of your loved ones or friend in this unit. You passed on that story, which helped to strengthen the connection throughout the communities in this state. There are people standing here today as far west as Otsego and as far north as Marquette. And the one greatest reason that makes this nation strong throughout the world is that we care. This was evident in the success of our family readiness group, a vital part of our successful deployment, and all the veteran groups that came forward and provided a lifeline to our soldiers across the world. The community of Midland and the surrounding areas came together when you were needed. You were there. Every soldier standing before you has accomplished a lot of firsts. However, I didn't have time to stop and write them all down. Soldiers such as Sergeant Teal Saylor and Staff Sergeant Stephen Kissinger, with their networking ability, and ambassadorial skills, improved the quality of life for our soldiers. To our platoons crossing the line of departure with nothing more than a grid point for your destination and no maps, to successfully working with local nationals and delivering cargo. Your achievements were historical, and you need to always be proud of who you are and what you've accomplished. The 1460th Transportation Company performed in a truly outstanding manner during the time of war in Operation Iraqi Freedom. During the month of April, the company was the go-to PLS support for the 180th Transportation Battalion, 4th Infantry Division, during its push from the ports in Kuwait to northern camps in preparation for its charge into Iraq. During the first 25 days on the ground in April, we pushed 2,000 containers during 24-hour operations. Additionally, we established a 24-hour retail fuel site using our 2 TPU tankers for HET and other support operations that moved the 4th Infantry Division and dispensed over 60,000 gallons of diesel at the port. Without NCOs such as Sergeant Kimberly Brialt, these unique and unexpected missions would not have been successful. From late April through May, the company, while under the 345th Corps Support Battalion and the 18th Corps Support Battalion, continued to push unit supplies, ammunition, and critical maintenance repair parts to camps in Iraq such as Bushmaster, Dogwood, Anaconda, Redskin, Sycamore, Diamondback, and Tal Afar, the northernmost camp just south of the Turkish border. In June, the company moved to Camp Anaconda and fell under the 181 Transportation Battalion. It was immediately tasked to run the first convoy defense live fire exercise and successfully trained over 700 soldiers in the 7th Corps Support Group. The highlight of the training was firing crew-served weapons at over 40 miles an hour. Soldiers such as Staff Sergeant William Call and Sergeant First Class Gary Gottlieb ensured that this 15-day exercise was accomplished safely and successfully. Throughout the summer, the company worked with local contractors to refurbish Syed Mohammed Elementary School in Balad, Iraq, under Operation Anaconda Neighborhood. The company continued its tradition of being ready anytime, any place, and continued to push supplies until its move south to Kuwait in August. From August through November, the company, while under the 18th Corps Support Battalion, supported Sustainer Rail, which was the first operational rail line moving supplies north and south in Iraq. The 1460th was an integral part of this operation by moving 1,500 containers from camps in Kuwait to the railhead in Qusar, Iraq. Successes such as these could not have been accomplished without the supervision of NCOs such as Staff Sergeant Cammie Sherwood or Staff Sergeant Marcia Jacobs, who returnally went on missions to ensure that each mission was accomplished safely. The unit returned in November to Camp Anaconda under the 181 Trans Battalion and then the 7th Trans Battalion, and its mission was to provide a security force for other convoys. We equipped many of our trucks with ring mounts and crew-served weapons. This enabled us to lay down a lot of firepower in a very short amount of time. Because the attacks against convoys are usually very short-lived, being able to respond quickly was the key to our success. Just seeing this big, intimidating weapon system cruising along with the rest of the convoy is enough to make any local threat think twice about who he wants to pick a fight with. Back at our company area, soldiers such as Specialist Steve Sass and Sergeant Jamie McCoy were busy stringing electrical wire to make our base camp livable. Also, many soldiers worked around the clock at the Consolidated Distribution Center. There was a big yard where supplies are stockpiled and redistributed out to other areas to support our troops. Our soldiers would bring in the trucks to get them loaded with the proper amount and type of supplies. This mission had been affectionately referred to as Yard Dog. Yard dog duty was less than desirable at times with all the heat and dust, mud and rain, but our soldiers did a super job, providing an essential service that kept the Army rolling. During this deployment, the 1460th Transportation Company delivered all classes of supplies. Our goal was to complete every mission safely and on time. Not only did we accomplish that, we also drove over 1,500,000 miles since our arrival in theater late March. Soldiers of the 1460th Transportation Company, when you were needed, you were there. This war, however, did not come without its cost in human life. Specialist Rick Goward, a soldier in our unit, made the ultimate sacrifice in defending our nation and protecting his family against tyrannical governments such as their former Iraqi regime. He will always be in our hearts, and we'll never forget his and the other soldiers of our great nation's sacrifice by giving their lives so that we can live free. I'd like to have a moment of silence for Specialist Rick Goward, a husband and a father who also served the nation proudly. Thank you. That's all I got.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. That's all I got.
Okay. Members of the 1460th, welcome home. You've served your country well, and we are forever grateful. Ladies and gentlemen and honored guests, thank you for being here today to show your support for the 1460th. Also, thank you to our state, county, and city police for escorting the troops, and especially the Forgotten Eagles Motorcycle Brigade and the Tittabawassee Valley Fife and Drum Corps for leading the parade today. At this time, the troops will return to their buses and move on to the Midland Armory to continue their homecoming celebration at a private ceremony for family members. Well, thank you.
Brother's hug.